So my way to Krishna consciousness started, I don't even know how it started, but I was always looking for something spiritual. Like I felt that some higher authority is there. I wasn't satisfied with my life. I was depressed about my life. And I didn't even want to live this life. I was like in childhood, I didn't want to grow up because I didn't like how the adults are living, how the life is based on greed, lust, and envy. And I didn't like this type of life. And I was always looking for something. But because I was living its 80s, 90s, you can take early 90s, it's still was under influence in Soviet Union. So there was no religion, it had any place in that country at that time. It was all the religious leaders were persecuted, all the believers, it doesn't matter what religion you follow, they were persecuted. And of course in the school we were taught the no God. So there was no any information about any religion. Even Orthodox Church, they put police in the entrance that people cannot enter there. You're just forbidden. It was forbidden. But I'm sure in the hearts, in the minds of different people, there are still questions: who I am, where I came from. And I would say that when I was a little girl, I remember that I had these thoughts about reincarnation. I was thinking, maybe I was 9 years old or less. I was thinking that what's gonna happen after I will die? What's gonna happen to me? And it can be that like I die and that's it. The life should continue. And I was thinking, well, I will just be like another person. I will look like another person, but it will be me. So I just will look different, like my body will be different, but it still will be me. And I was thinking about different famous people, poets, artists, what the body they are now, who they are now, where they are now. I don't know why these thoughts came to me, and there was no information at that time. But I remember I was thinking, even I was afraid to feel asleep at night, because I thought, okay, now death will come and I will not see this transition. I will not understand that I'm in another body now. For some reason I was thinking that death only comes at night. So that's my, and I was like waiting, what maybe now tonight it will come and I will miss it. So that's what I remember, that thoughts that about reincarnation, me as a soul, about thinking about that. Then later in the life I was covered up again, and with all the propaganda and ideology, plus my family, they were pure 100% atheists. My father and my mother, they had like diplomas of propaganda and ideology, communist propaganda ideology. They were in charge, and the place where they were working, they were in charge for that. So you can imagine, for me to be a religious person, there was no way, even if Krishna consciousness was existed at that time. So, but I was feeling when I was in the school that no, there should be something there. I have to. I was, but there's no information. And I remember I was maybe 14 years old. First time when I saw Krishna, maybe 13 or 14 years old, my brother, he's like sportsman, runner, and he went to some competition to some another city, and he brought me incense, and it was the picture of Krishna standing there, very beautiful. I didn't know who is that. It was Hare Krishna Mahamantra from Indonesia, maybe it was incense. And I was like crazy, smoking this incense all over the apartment. My mom said, stop smoking this. But I was keeping it for years, this package of this blue boy with the flute. in my, I don't know, for 20 years, for many years I was having it. Even after I became devotee, that first image of Krishna I saw, that's when Hare Krishna were forbidden. But he got somehow, he thought that will be present for me. That's the only present he brought for me. That was a Krishna, without knowing, without understanding. And then about the same time, I challenged my teacher in the school. We had the subject where they teach us different like philosophy of Marxism, Leninism, and Engels, all these communist philosophers will say the theories about the world, about that God doesn't exist. And I remember I challenged my teacher right in the class when we were learning that everything came from the matter. The world came from the matter. And I said, it doesn't work like that. It's even according to logic, it can be. So I started arguing. So they locked me, after the class finished, they locked me down in the classroom, and the two more teachers came and they were working with me, arguing. So I have to, then I got in trouble at home. I was beaten up for that because my mom was vice principal in the school, so it wasn't allowed to think differently. I said, no, spirit is prime. Like the chair, the first engineer, he gets idea. It's not like chair manifested and then engineer got idea. It's not the other way. It's not like manifested and then it happens. No, it's somebody, some engineer, it exists in the universe. Everything comes from him. So I I got in trouble in the school for that, and at home was beaten. So there was just for this little thing, I had big trouble. Then still, because at that time it still was underground, the Hare Krishnas were in a jail, a mental hospital in Soviet Union. And then in the 1991, meantime I tried to read the Bible. One my friend gave me a Bible to read. Then I went to some Theosophic Society, Madame Blavatsky, Agni Yoga, to listen to them. So I was like going from another religion to here, there looking. But I wasn't satisfied. I couldn't, like from the Orthodox Church, they kicked me out 3 times. And Agni Yoga I didn't like because they were talking too much about politics. I couldn't find what I'm looking for. Then some of my friends, musicians, they were rock musicians. I was hanging out in the rock clubs. I had some responsibility in the rock club, arranging some concerts, so I was always there. And one of the groups at that time, they were interested in the philosophy of Krishna Consciousness. And I was hearing them talking about Krishna, something like that. But I thought some Indian philosophy, something interesting, but I didn't ask them questions and they didn't preach to me. But I was hearing them. And then I remember it was my birthday, we were coming back from the radio station, they were giving an interview, something like that. And they asked me, do you know who we are talking about? And I said like, with big confidence, yes, Krishna. Who is a Krishna? I said, he's God. I knew nothing about it. I just said like that. That was it. They didn't say me anything, didn't explain me anything about Krishna. I just answered like. Then I started asking question one of the group members. We had to go to some producer, to meet some producer for the group. And on the way, he started preaching me. I was arguing with him. I had my own ideas about spiritual life, etc. So he said, no, I have to give you some books to read. I have to give you, I don't know what books he said, because for me, the name was something, it may be Sri Upanishad, something not in Russian. It was maybe Sri Upanishad and some other book. I didn't know, because when he said the name, I said, can I read it? If it's in Russian, what language is that? Like, I said, yes, it's in Russian, you will understand it. But then he went to some recording studio to Moscow, and I didn't see him for a while. Then I was walking in the street. I just received my salary I was first year student in Academy of Arts and Culture. So in monthly we're getting payment from the government for this. So I just receive it. It's like very little money, but something. I just receiving money, and I was walking in the street, main street in the city, and I think I smell incense. Very familiar smell from my childhood, what my brother brought. And I like like a dog, I smell it, so my senses of smell took me there. Then I heard the beautiful music, and it was some radio, at times at radio station, and there was some beautiful Hare Krishna bhajans were coming from that. So it attracted another sense of first nose, and then I saw the books. There were 2 Sankirtana devotees came to our city to distribute books. There was no temple, no preaching center, nothing. Just 2 Sankirtana devotees. So I came and I saw these books. There wasn't so many books at the time. There was no Srimad Bhagavatam, no one even first canto. There wasn't published yet. There was Bhagavad Gita, Easy Journey. There was few books, Shishopanishad, few small books. So Bhagavad Gita was maybe Science of Self-Realization, maybe. Just very few books. And they had like pictures, like from inside of the books, like the reincarnation, like half man, half. And because he already explained me, this musician, who later became devotee, he got initiated by Indradyumna Swami. He passed away about 2 years ago recently. Was my Vartmana Pradakshika guru. And I saw that, and I said, oh, I know that. And I started explaining to different people. I started preaching them because I already heard. So that's how the soul travels through the body. And so I started explaining, I started preaching. And this devotee who was distributing books, first they were giving books like that. Okay. So he gave me Shishopanishad, and I bought it right away. It was very expensive by that time, but I bought it. It was 6 rubles, but it was expensive. Ruble at that time was not like now. So and then when I started preaching people, explaining what is on the pictures, they said, oh, you know everything, so come here and distribute books. So I said, me? Yeah, we have to go. They said, we have to go like for some time and then we'll come back. You just stand here next to this devotee and just distribute books. I said, okay. So I, without knowing anything, I stand and started distributing books there. And I distributed about 5 Bhagavad Gitas at the time. And then when I was distributing Bhagavad Gita, I was holding it and said, I gotta have it also. This book, I don't know what is it, but I don't know, I gotta have this book. So I spent my money, all my money on the books. And then they took me to some programs, that we're gonna have a program at night, some place, renting place, some hall. So you gotta come with us. We can go in our car. I said, okay. So I went there. This was these 2 Sankirtana devotees, they were giving a lecture. They put me on the back with the books. So you're gonna distribute books. And the interesting thing, they brought the flowers, like a lot of flowers. And whoever will buy a book, you also give them bouquet of flowers. So, and some prasadam. It was like I would give flowers, books, and some prasadam. It was interesting experience. I was feeling so happy. I wasn't understanding exactly what's going on. Then after this program, we went to some apartment, another program for the smaller people, for just limited, for some who already practice Krishna consciousness, not public program. And I totally was confused. I couldn't understand. There was no women, it was only me. And this people with these bags, with japa bags, and when they were chanting japa, I was thinking, was it like doing? I did something wrong, like they're doing to me. So it was. I couldn't understand what they're saying. Some words when they're addressing to each other, Prabhu, Prabhu. So everybody's name is Prabhu. Interesting. And a lot of things for me was I couldn't understand what's going on. Then it was already late at night, and I had the next day 2 exams, English and some other exam. And I had to go. I had to prepare for that. And I said, I have to go. Please let me go. And they said, no. You cannot go before you take prasadam. You have to eat prasadam. I said, what is a prasadam? What do I have to eat? Is it drugs or something? I didn't know. I didn't know what prasadam is. I didn't grow up in India. I didn't grow up anywhere. Some prasadam. And they locked the door. I couldn't get out. So I have to eat some prasadam. I was okay. I'm in trouble now. I got in some sect or something, so I didn't know what's going on. I said, okay, we will come out alive from that. But it seems nice people, but I don't know. It's like, what's going on? Then I had to call to my mom. I said, Mom, I'm gonna be late, and I have to take prasadam. Then I will go. I said, what? Prasadam, what is that? I don't know. Go back immediately. Like I'm gonna call police. I said, no, it seems fine. Everything will be fine. So, but she was really worried. So then they brought these big plates filled with rice. It wasn't cooked. It was like undercooked, and maybe some salad or something. But it was a lot. I said, you have to eat it all. I have to finish it. Everything. Me? Yes. I said, I cannot finish it everything. It's not possible. I don't eat that much. No, that will be sin. You have to finish everything. So I was the last person somehow push it. I never forget it. I never ate so much in my life. So I had somehow to, with the tears on my eyes, because they're not gonna let me go. I have to finish this prasadam with this rice. I said, oh my God, took me a while to finish everything. So then they let me go. It was a strange experience. But then I felt, actually I was very happy when I met. I couldn't understand why I was happy. What actually made me happy. But I felt like really peaceful and happy. And I wanted to come back. I couldn't understand, like it will say, I got right away answers on my questions. That's what I found. I was looking for this and I found. That was on the first day. Then later on, yes, I started reading books. But the first day, some aspects of Krishna attracted me. And I got these feelings in association of devotees, even new devotees, something what was missing in my life. So I was keeping coming back. There wasn't any temple to go back, take darshan, etc., take prasadam. It was Sankirtan devotees who were coming every day in the streets. They were standing and distributing books. So I was going the places where they're distributing books to get some association with them, just to stay at least half an hour a day with them and distribute books, at least this. So, and occasionally we had some programs in some different places. But it took me about 1 year maybe. I still had my doubts about Krishna consciousness. I liked it, but I had the doubts. Is it what I was looking for? Or these people look very strange little bit. Maybe it's not mine, maybe I should. But I didn't want to leave them. Even it was a little bit weird. It was a little bit weird, like the clothes they were wearing, these mantras they were chanting, that style of life. But I like it. It's something, the different thing what I notice about these people, that they follow what they preach. All other traditions which I went, I didn't find that. The people speak nice words, giving nice lectures, but don't follow that. But these people, in Krishna consciousness, that's what struck me most. That they were preaching and they were following that what they were preaching. I said, I gotta dig into more. I gotta read these books. I gotta see that. So I started reading books. I started with a pencil, writing down that what I'm not agree with. And I started chanting a little bit, like 2 rounds, 4 rounds, then I gradually give up all this sinful activity, started following principles. And I was feeling my life is changing. There was no depression anymore. I got some, it's different. Even people who knew me before, they said, you changed, it changed you. I don't know what would happen to me if I wouldn't become devotee. No, actually, I know I may be some subtle body flying somewhere, it's a ghost. Kill myself or do something crazy, stupid. And it saved me. These books, these devotees who came to distribute books, it's somehow Krishna, through different sources, he sent different people to get me back there. That's how, like, shortly I came to Krishna consciousness, and that's.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for your